views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Meetings with the Minds, brought to you by the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in partnership with BronxNet Television. We are so excited to connect you with our member, Ponce Bank, and its CEO, Carlos Naudon. We cannot wait to get into a conversation about SBA loans and how Ponce Bank is one of the leading institutions in supporting small businesses. Carlos, we are so grateful to have you with us on another edition of Meetings with the Minds. Ponce Bank has been a member of our chamber for a couple of years now. We know that you believe in community, you are a community bank, and today we want to talk about, thinking small, and by that I mean small businesses. So welcome once again. Hope you and the family are well.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, everybody's well. And if you extend the family to Ponce Bank, we had challenges and some of our folks were under the weather, but everything seems to be good in the way to recovery.
We know that Ponce Bank has always been committed to small businesses and its community. Tell us a little bit about that commitment now that we're facing this discrepancy with SBA loans, and what are you doing for your small businesses at this point?
Sure, be glad to tell you that. We started about 60 years ago in the South Bronx, when that community was being written off, and we believed in the community and a group of people, business leaders, started the bank. So today we're a little bit over $1 billion, almost $1.1 billion. We have about $1 billion worth of loans. We do a lot of loans with businesses. A lot of that is real estate. We have been heavily involved in the PPP loans under the Small Business Administration. Mm-hmm. The smallest loan we've done is $586. So that tells you wow. We do a lot of work with small businesses. Many loans in the $5,000, $10,000 levels. And so we strongly believe in helping the communities. We have not limited our loans to customers. We go with anybody who has a need and can demonstrate that they have that need according to the SBA rules, and we're pleased to do that.
Thank you for that. You've actually answered a question that I was going to ask later on, but I appreciate that, and you're being specific with the amount of loans and who are they going to. Let's go back really quickly to these SBA loans. We all know that SBA loans, and correct me if I'm wrong, are really intended to help the small businesses, right? But from what we have seen, the federal government has given those loans to bigger financial institutions. What happened when they failed to think small? And what impact has that had on the small businesses?
Well, it's hard to speak for other institutions, but I can tell you what we have seen, mm-hmm. and that is that the larger institutions have catered towards their bigger customers because it is a lot cheaper to process $1 million loan than a $1,000 loan, relatively speaking. And so I think that the entities that are very large are used to dealing with larger customers, and really they don't cater to the small community, small businesses that we have. And it has made the whole process, or made the first round of the process, very unfair. We were only able to do about $3 million worth of loans in the first round because we were cut off and overwhelmed by the larger institutions. And so the second round of lending has been better because they have taken and carved out pieces of the funding for institutions like ours. We are a community development financial institution, as well as a minority designated institution, under $10 billion. So there's a pocket of funds available for those institutions. And it has worked better, let's put it that way.
You mentioned the second round of fundings. What specifically about the second round of fundings brought more benefit to the small businesses? Is that like a better working relationship with a community bank such as Ponce Bank? Like what has been, I guess, what's the climate when it came to that second round of loans?
So part of it is mechanical in a sense that in order for you to make a loan, you have to go to you, meaning the banker, has to go to the portal of SBA and submit a loan application. The process could be either automated or manual. And most smaller lenders did not have an automated capability, whereas the larger lenders did. And so when they submitted loans, 5, 10, 15,000 loan applications at the same time, it essentially overwhelmed the system and did not allow other institutions to manually enter loans. And so the funds were rapidly used up in catering to the larger institutions and left the smaller ones that were doing it manually to essentially fend for themselves and not have much capability to make loans. So for the second round, what they did is that they essentially bucketed dollars to different sites of institutions and put limits on what the larger institutions could do on an automated basis. At the same time, institutions like ours, that were able to automate the process. And so that enabled us also to use automated loading of loan applications.
No, I appreciate that. When I first learned that Ponce Bank was one of the only, financial institutions processing loans for non-client, why was that important to you? Because for us, that speaks to your commitment across the board and your belief to that small businesses are important to, the thriving economic New York City community.
Well, I think that there are many, many institutions that don't cater to the underbanked and underserved populations. And we believe that as a MDI, minority designated institution, as well as a community development institution, part of our mission is to help develop the community. And you have to do that with dollars and cents, and you have to bank those that are underbanked and serve those that are underserved. So there's no better way to do that than to open your doors to non-customers. And we had many customers that came from other institutions, larger ones that didn't provide the level of service that we did. Or we also get a lot of customers from essentially businesses that were not served by banks. And that was, to us, very good feeling.
And that's why we believe, community banks are so important. And that's why we are proud to have you definitely as a member, because as a chamber, we believe in the small businesses. We believe that it is important, again, for the viability of the economy of New York City as a whole. Talk to us about what people can expect from the customer experience. You mentioned, how it was a good feeling for you to be able to do this. But give us an example or anything you can give us about how the overall community felt, now understanding how important community banks such as Ponce Bank really, really is.
Well, one of the things that we were able to do is we created an automated system that essentially emailed the customer every step of the way. So when the loan application was received, we thanked them and emailed them. When he moved to a loan processor, we told them. When we moved to an underwriter, we told them, et cetera, all the way. And so we had communications going on with people at all the times. And our staff was working literally 24/7. And so in the middle of the night, we often send emails out. And it showed that we really cared and we wanted to keep the customer informed. A lot of the larger institutions took an application, didn't say anything to customers, and customers were left wondering. So communication was very important. But because we communicated, we also heard back from a lot of the customers who were very appreciative that we were helping them along the way. We had to correct a lot of the information because one of the problems that small businesses have is that they're not technically strong. In accounting, they're not strong. And so a lot of the applications were not properly completed. So instead of ignoring them, we actually called them and asked them to complete things. And some of them had to go through 3 and 4 iterations before they got it right. I will tell you that that's a very expensive process. And when you're making a 1% loan of a few $1,000s, there's really no, return on that. But it's our investment, in a sense, in the community that motivated us to do that.
No, and we, again, I mean, we are so proud. I can't say it enough to have you guys as a member of the chamber. And we know the team of Ponce Bank, and you guys have been working, 24/7. So kudos and lots of appreciation, for the Ponce team. You have an incredible workforce and staff that I think share your same belief, in helping out the community. So we appreciate you with that. So one final question: how can we get information about Ponce Bank and so more people can be connected with you?
Oh, it'd be very, very easy. You can just go to our website, poncebank.com, and everything is there. You can apply for PPP loan there. We're still taking applications. And you can talk to our people. You can also call us at 718-931-9000, and our contact center will answer that and provide any and all information that people need. And we can do everything in person, or we can do everything electronic, or everything in between. Mm-hmm. We're very flexible. We want to serve the customer where they want to be served.
Mm-hmm. And I think I would also add that, Ponce Bank, because I've seen it, just walking in the neighborhood, you guys are taking precautions when it comes to the amount of people in the banks at a certain time. So you're making sure that your employees are safe and staying healthy, but you're also making sure that the community is staying healthy as well. But to offer these services, both automated and in person, speaks volumes of your commitment. And thank you for that. Mm-hmm.
Well, we thank you, and we're pleased to be a member of the chamber.
Thank you, Carlos. I know you have a lot of work to do, and we can't wait to get you back.
Okay, thank you much.
You got
take care. And stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.